Welcome, adjudicators, to another episode of Disputed, where two fictional characters go head to head, armed with only their advocates, and you will decide the outcome. Everything is disputed.
Oh yeah. Whew. Time to get back to the fights, man. Yeah, it was nice having our little intermission there. We needed that for a sec, but it was a lot of fun. But ready to be back at it, man.
I'm ready for a dust up, so knuckle up.
Knuckle up. Go ahead and So go ahead and introduce yourself, my friend.
Why, surely. What's up, blurs and nerds? I am Demond, father of two, husband of one. You may know me from such podcasts as Demond Us, and In the Stack, the Library Podcast, and other upcoming projects, which I will tell you about another time. That's called foreshadowing, or maybe a tease.
Motherfucker.
I also turn dad jokes into poetry, and I am the teller of the Disputed podcast.
Well, I mean, that would make you the silent partners if I would be the pen of the of the podcast. But so thanks, Damon. Welcome, adjudicators. I'm Dean. I'm on. I'm the like I said, I'm the Penn Gillette of the show. You can find me on many podcasts doing too many things. So many I've lost count. However, everything that we do here is on podscare.com. You can go check out everything we're doing. If you've joined us live, that's awesome. Especially if you're on YouTube, you can ask us questions. We'll get them on the air with everybody, and have everybody. Once if we get questions for our advocates, we'll bring them on board. So now I know not everybody got to see what happened with our last fight, which was Ting versus Beatrix Kiddo. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring that up real quick. That our last video with that. So I hope I have it right here. So. Now, because WWE 2K does not allow for men fighting women, Ting has to fight somebody and Beatrix fights somebody else. And as we saw last time, who fights who? Oh yeah, we got to fight Ting. We got the disputed geese,
and we lasted way longer than we wouldn't realize.
Oh, ow!
That's okay. That looks accurate. Okay, all right, that looks accurate. Oh yeah, that'd be accurate. I'd be a contest with that one, sure. Oh,
I'm gonna need an adjustment after that one.
Oof. Oh, flying drop kick, yeah. That's nice.
I didn't need that neck.
Kick in the face. That kind of macho man style. Nice little backbreaker there. Just walked over and was like, hey, I'm standing on the apron. Smack. Oh. I got all the high flying moves, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, you're easier to hit because you're a little bit lower.
Fair enough.
And there's our victor, Beatrix Kiddo. So big props, like we said last time, to Brian Tan for winning that bout. And so since seeing as how we did not have a bout last week, our good well, let me bring this up. The reason we didn't have our bout last week was because our pal Ben, who was on here advocating for, who was that? It was Amos, and they won that bout, but they were also going to take the mantle of Reacher in this upcoming one, but then they got sick. I have not heard from them, so we're sending them out lots of healing vibes to them. I know they went in the hospital. I hope they're getting better, doing okay. I don't know. I have not seen them online since in a week now, so I don't know what's going on. But I'm trying to get in contact with them. I hope they're doing okay. But we care about them very much. So Anyway, all of that being said, we didn't have a dispute, and that kept us from a new tape roll for you. Well, of a dispute anyway. But we do have something. Keith and Heather made this for us. Just as kind of a promo of what's happened and what's coming up. So let me bring this up here. All right. There we are in our street clothes. Beatrix Kiddo coming out. All right. Kato. We got a little Kato there. We got some Jason Bourne. Some Robert McCall. I'm hyping him up. You're hyping him up. I like the jacket that you got. Kato over there looking back at Walker, Texas Rangers. Little Amos. Yeah, and we got Johnny Lawrence coming up.
Johnny Lawrence.
We got Rama. We got Sahm tonight. We got John Wick tonight. Reacher, my man. Yeah, and Wayne from Letterkenny.
How are you now?
Oh, good, and you?
Not
and then Reacher versus Rama. Look at that standoff right there, man.
This is so awesome! I cannot believe this. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I love it. I love
Wayne
it.
getting
So
all warmed up. This is me in my Letterman's jacket.
I love it.
Looking like a high schooler.
Me and my flannel, like I usually have when it's not fucking balls hot out here. So
that is fan-freaking
that was awesome. Yeah. Again, loads and loads of gratitude to Keith and Heather Mackey for these awesome WWE 2K22 characters. If you want to find them, they're at Keith Mackey 1 on Twitter and at SOL Freedom 10 on Instagram. So anyway, Damon, what you say we get our little introduction for the evening, my friend? You're ready?
Okay. Yes. This episode brings a dispute between two of the most pugnacious pugilists to ever provide a pummeling. One of them from a bygone era, the other from the gritty underworld. Who are these two combatants, you ask? Only two of the most angry adversaries to ever annihilate an assailant. Sahm from Warrior versus John Wick.
Yeah. Woo! Man, gives me the shivers.
It's so much fun. I love it.
Man, I'm super excited for this episode. I these last three are going to be really. I think they're going to be nail biters. So
these are gonna be good ones. These are gonna be good.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and let's kick off our introductions for the evening. I'll take our first guest here, if that's okay.
Yep.
All right. Our first advocate for the evening is 1-1 in the tournament, now coming into their third dispute. Hailing from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, he likes to compose weird songs in the bathroom. He's an author, Kenpo Black Belt, and the 2021 DDP Yoga Positively Unstoppable Challenge champion. He's also got hands so fast he could take out Butterbean. Give it up for Brian Tan.
What's going on, everybody? 1-1, but definitely not done. I definitely want to give a shout out to Butterbean, who recently had successful hip surgery. Probably not going to be able to. I don't know how much longer that intro is going to be accurate, because if he finds out, he's going to say, "Oh, you want to test that out?"
Well, I mean, I think you got a really good chance right now. So
yeah, as long as he's on the mend, I think I'm safe.
All right. So, Brian, go ahead, Dwan.
I was gonna say, doped up on painkillers, you have a shot.
He's gonna be even slower.
I'll take it. I'll take any advantage I can get. I'm not above a shortcut.
That's right. So, king of suckers.
I love you, Butterbean. You're an awesome dude.
Anyway, Brian, tell us who you're advocating for this evening and what you bring to the table for them.
First and foremost, my resume speaks for itself. I have been studying martial arts since I was 8 years old, so we're looking at about 35 years total. I started with Taekwondo, moved to Tang Sudo, wrestling, boxing, and then I earned a first degree black belt in Sullivan's American Kempo under Hanshi Larry Sullivan out of Jaffrey, New Hampshire. I was at one point the grand champion in my class for kata, as well as the top point getter in the heavyweight division of the MMA portion. So I've thrown a hand a time or two in my time. I have studied Korean styles, some of the Japanese styles, so I like to think that I know my fighting. I am advocating for the one, the only Sahm, who I did not know much about until Dean talked him up. And I think, Dean, you started talking to me about Sahm on Tuesday.
Yep.
I have watched all of season 1 from then to now. And I am starting season 2.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Warrior, it's now on HBO Max.
Go and check it out.
It's fucking fantastic.
It is on point. Great acting, great period piecing, and they do an amazing narrative as well. Where when the Asian characters speak with non-Asians versus when they speak to each other, it's very, very well done.
Yeah,
and
very clever how they did that. I'd never even think of that.
It really, truly is. And for those of you that are martial arts enthusiasts, this is a show that is a treatment of the writings from the one, the only Bruce Lee. Executive produced by his only living offspring, Shannon Lee.
Yep.
It's amazing. And you want me to tell you a little bit about Sahm, or?
Well, we'll get into that when we get into the dispute.
So that's what I'm here for. That's who I'm advocating for, because, hey, badasses got to stick together.
That's right. All right.
Even if I am only 5'9".
All right. Damon, you ready to bring in your advocate?
Yes, I am. Our next advocate returns to the tournament for the first time since last advocating for Frank Martin, the Transporter. He's a mediator, a podcaster, and pisses excellence daily. Some refer to him as Mr. D713, but this evening we're gonna make some noise for Drake!
What's happening with y'all good people? What's happening with you?
Wow, that was such an amazing intro. I can't even be pumped for myself. That was so great.
Hey, I appreciate it. It's all love, factual, and it's all love too.
Yeah.
I'm still jelly about the look of the beard. I'm still jelly.
Oh, I've told him before. I mean, that's a fucking immaculate beard.
Seriously, even though I'm not doing much with the bearding anymore, I at least have to get the gray on the opposite side.
It will come. You get as stressed as I am, and it will come. I promise you.
Oh, I know about this.
You get stress on the right side of your chin.
Goodness. Hey, but I am happy to be here. All right, this is a blessing. Hey, and I appreciate my opponent Brian, because he representing for the 5'9" brothers out here. I'm listening to this intro. I'm like, you're not the one fighting, Brian. We're talking about everybody fighting. I'm like, I do not have that resume, but I'm excited.
Well, the problem is I'm not allowed to fight anymore. My wife won't let me because of my concussions.
Smart.
So I got to get super excited for anything combat related.
Hey, the wives are here to keep us here longer.
Right? Yes.
Very true. Yeah.
Amen.
Man,
Amen.
It's a titanic battle of the Titans, man.
Yeah,
talking
man.
about two really tall people here at 5'9".
Oh man, hey, and let me tell you something. I'm
These
listening.
kids.
Brian has said a few things already. I'm like, he did his homework. I don't like that.
I mean, he started his homework on Tuesday night. He's like the kid that shows up the night before. He burned it through it the night before and still scores high.
I think it's super fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm the same way, and as I do homework on both sides, and I'm like, oh, okay, he saw that. Okay, he found that out. All right, I hope he missed that.
Hey, so Drake, share something about yourself with us and tell us who you are advocating for this evening. Actually, we already know, but go ahead and repeat it, and then
Oh,
tell us why and what you, sir, bring to the table.
no problem. Once again, I'm Drake of Mr. D713 with Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast of the purpose. Our mission statement to is from Martin Luther King, and he tried to push peace, but people forget he used to have them hands too. But we'll come back to that. But his mission statement comes from when he did a speech at Cornell University, where our mission statement comes from that. He said he believed that men hate each other because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other, and they don't know each other because of segregation. And because of segregation, we have miscommunication. So that's what we're here for. But in the small print of Everything Culture, we still reserve the right to whoop your ass if you get out of pocket. So people need to understand that. We come with the olive branch, but that don't work out with something work. But tonight I am representing, I am advocating for John Wick, the one, the only, the man of mystery, the man of a certain type of fighting style that we've never seen before. Well, maybe seen before, but never done before. Never been perfected to a sense. I would say man of the elegant underworld. It's certain type of style and class.
You like the dapper ones? I've seen that so far.
Yes. And I think it's gonna be a battle tonight. I'm excited for this. I'm excited. Yeah. I got another ball brethren here too, so it's going to be a challenge. But I'm going to represent the Wick. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm the white-haired one. The white-haired 6'5" or 6'1". I'm 6'5". I'm thinking about Reacher already.
Here,
seriously, you're the only one over 6'8".
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, looking like Sauron the White over there.
Yeah, there we go.
Showing my blurred status.
Hey, just grab that staff and you rolling.
None shall pass.
I'll tell you what, I'm definitely all for that. Don't get it twisted. Just because I'm a man of peace don't mean you can't catch these hands.
Yeah, case in point, yeah, believe it.
After I heard Kirk Franklin get in his son's backside, I question nobody. I'm
it's bad when Kirk Franklin whoop your ass.
Hey, Jesus flipped tables and made a whip.
That's right.
Put it together. Know your history.
Yeah. It's bad when the Son of God's like, you know what?
Hey, I ain't here to talk. No more words.
You fucked around. Now you're gonna find out.
Exactly. That's right. Amen.
You know what? I probably would read the Bible more if it actually said that in
there. Hey, there's some things in
there.
Thou
art hast fucked around, and thine shall find out.
Dude, I'm just glad
instead of the king. Instead of the King James version, the King Samuel L. Jackson version.
You motherfuckers.
I would definitely listen to that on Audible. I would put that as a sign.
Oh, man.
Let's go find out.
I may need to suggest that. That's a great idea. I know.
I'm serious. Yo, I'll tell you what right now. If Samuel L. Jackson did read the whole Bible and it was open to the Samuel interpretation, that would make there is no way, it wouldn't be ready. Yeah, God gotta be up there like, finally! That's what I was trying to say.
God, this motherfucker.
God is really Samuel L. Jackson.
He is all of us.
That's right.
Yeah, he's not Morgan Freeman. It's Samuel L. Jackson.
Hey,
God we need and the God we deserve.
Oh, good Lord. All right.
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, before we get too far off the rails here, we're going. We need no rails. If you've joined us before, as these two have, they already know these. But the debate timing is as follows: each advocate will get 5-minute opening statement, followed directly by a rebuttal from their opponent for 2 minutes. After that, Damon and I will ask a question of each of them, depending on who we introduce. So Damon will ask of Brian, I will ask of Drake. If we get any comments from the audience out there, we will our questions. We'll post them on live to have the fellas answer, and then after that, we will have closing arguments for 2 minutes. So, any questions, fellas?
Nope.
All right. So, since Brian, you're 1-1, and you're going for hopefully 2-1 for you. Let's go ahead and start with you with your opening statement. Let me see if I can do this right. If I can bring this up and still have you be up top here. Let's see, where the hell did it go? Did it? Okay. Well, let me do it this way.
I have total faith in you.
Oh, yeah. There we go. I will just run the timer in the background and let you know when you're out. So go ahead. You got 5 minutes.
So, to be completely and utterly fair, first and foremost, shout out to Baba Yaga. Love. But you got to know where you come from, baby boy. And that's why we talking about Sahm. Sahm came to this country for one reason and one reason alone. Not to make his fortune, but to do right by his big sister that took the ultimate, that she sacrificed to keep him alive. And now he just wants to make good. And as soon as he gets there, gets to these lands, what happens? He got 3 idiots looking to start some trouble. And what did they have to learn? Sahm don't start trouble, but boy, will he end it. And that's what he does. And he spends his time rising up in the ranks from itchy onion to badass Tong warrior. Now, it's not without its problems. He does get owned a time or two, but Sahm does what real warriors do. They take the hits, and when they go down, they get up and keep coming. I'll tell you what, right now, Sahm is showing Rocky how to take a hit, okay? And he's showing John Wick, this is how you hit. Sahm has done so much in the short 2 seasons of Warrior, and I've only just finished the first, but he has stood up in instances where he has been outnumbered the entire time. He has not had the height advantage, he has not had the strength advantage. What he has had, even when he doesn't have the speed advantage, what does he have? A tenacious will to win. And while he's told that he's not fighting for something, he came in fighting for something. He came fighting for family, but also the desire to be the best that he can be. And when he has to take life, he won't hesitate. But he has also protected someone, and it wasn't in his best interest to do so. Why? To prove a point that he's not a coward. And I am going to pause my time in case I need it later.
All right. You're banking 220.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and pause that there. I actually need to rewind it, and then I will bring up Drake. And let me start your timer over here. I'm going to have to remove it and then pause. Yeah, this is a weird thing, so I apologize. Yeah, I'll get there eventually. See if I can. Silly thing. It won't let me do it. All right. Oh, here's how I got to do it.
I don't need it.
So there we go. Get after it.
It's all good. Thank you, Brian. You brought us some great points that it would coincide with Mr. Wick as well. Let's call him Mr. Wick. I think he deserved that respect. Mr. Wick is a phenomenal man. Once again, just want to mind his own business. He's done a lot of things in his life, and he just want to live, relax, and enjoy. He's been through some things. He lost a loved one. He lost. Have y'all lost someone? I've lost someone. I've lost numerous people. And when you're just living after living a hard life, being a soldier, doing things to make a living, and you lose someone, and that thing that keep you intact, that person or that thing you lost was a beautiful puppy. Who don't love puppies? I love. Yeah. Hey, tell me one person who don't love a puppy. But once again, when you just minding your business, doing what you're supposed to be doing, and the evil will come, and they will fuck with you. Okay, but you know what you shouldn't fuck with? Mr. Wick's puppy. They killed his dog, man. They killed his dog. Okay. And they brought that man to being the man. He had to get out of retirement. He had to go break open the bottle. He had to go back to he didn't want to be. He was done with that life. But here he's now. I have to fuck some shit up. And here we are. We have Mr. Wick. This man here has created so many different styles of fighting. He used many, but I've never heard of tactical 3-gun before. Maybe I have. I haven't. I never heard of gun jitsu until John Wick. This man here, not only he's fighting for a great cause to put people in check that try to harm and bully others.
All right. So you've hit your rebuttal. So, I mean, if you'd like to continue on with your opening statement, here we can go. There we go.
It's back on me. Yes.
Yep.
And I will continue. So you mentioned something about size, different shapes, different, weight classes, different strength. That's all John Wick fought. A variety of individuals. I honestly, I try to keep count of how many people he fought. Like, I could Google it now, and I may just do that. But he fought men. He fought women. He fought dogs. He fought, let's say, let me make sure I stay on track. He fought people of different ethnicities all around the world. And once again, this all came from somebody fucking with his dog. And he just didn't fight any regular individuals either. He's fighting other trained assassins. Other people, main goal, main job, main occupation is to fuck other people up in the most professional way. And it went to the point not only from the hand to hand. And once again, if this is something, we got to put an asterisk. We got to bring it out with guns as well. But when you get, and not only using guns, let's not use it as the shooting, as the projectile. He was whooping ass with guns, okay? Smacking people. Like, I've never seen somebody get smacked with a gun since like Ike Turner. He's bringing some shit like from the 70s, okay? He was like, Mr. Wick got to have a little bit of pimp in him. I'm just letting y'all know. He's a little different. He operates in a way that we have yet to see. And once again, he just wants to mind his business and count his coins and chill. They blew up his home. And he comes back consistently. He had to find protection and refuge from the people he even considers friends and previous co-workers, and from them same people. When, don't forget, at the end of John Wick 2, with a snap of a finger, everyone completely around him was his enemy. I don't think, and respect to Sahm, but he wasn't Mr. Wick in that situation. I have yet to see him experience anything like that. That everyone is on your ass. That is a trained assassin to kill you. And once again, all different, like even with women, he's trained to be a gentleman, but now you got to put that out the window when you got to survive for your life. So when it comes down to the fighting style, not only for fighting, for protection, jiu-jitsu, and returning the blows, but he's also great with weapons. No, once again, I already mentioned the guns. I can go all through all that. Once again, gun jitsu, that he know how to use a plethora of weapons when he had to fight against what he's fighting. But swords, he's picking up against two twin brothers that's been taught in this work. If you have to fight a set of twins that's trained, that's a whole different level of shit you about to go through. Let you know that right now. But when it goes into the point when he can whoop ass with just a simple number 2 pencil, let's think about that. A number 2 pencil. I've never seen it happen. I used to play pencil break all the time in middle school and elementary. But with Mr. Wick, he's something there. And even when he's had to go through different parts of his work, he has to go into the sewers, all the way to top scale 5-class restaurants and 5-class places that we've never seen. I've never been in a sewer. I've never been wearing the Rat King or the Trash King, whatever they call my brother, Lawrence Fishburne character he's playing, all the way to elite places that you can never touch. He's been there. But at the whole time, he's fighting through all those different levels. He legit was like a fucking Ninja Turtle video game. So he's fighting through all these levels up to the top. And he'll go back to the bottom. Now, I will take my time right there. And for the hands.
You got a minute.
Mr.
You're banking a minute there. All right. So, Brian, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up here
All
again,
right.
and then go for it.
You know, much respect, and you brought up some amazing points, but a couple of things that I have to sort of disregard there. Assam, not knowing what it's like to have everyone against him. Yo, he had his tongue turn their backs on him twice so far. Twice. And when your crew turns your back on you, what does that mean? You are a man alone. There are 3 tongues in this San Francisco, plus the Irish. So that's 4 crews that he is alone with now. And the young June and company came back begging him to come back twice. He was chosen to be the biggest badass. He was the guy to represent his tong. And he had that fight won. However, his arrogance got in the way. But you know what? He had him beat. And I'm sorry, that kick to the solar plexus, when you're fighting someone that knows what they're doing, it is impossible to land that hit. And he did it. So, and then, you brought up something else about fighting other trained killers. Well, you know what? These tongs ain't chumps. All of these guys had to come, all of them came across the salt. That means they were about that life. They have experienced the difficulties. And you look at all that they go through. They're dodge that they don't have the luxury of secrecy in what they're doing. They have to put on 2 different faces. They have to put the meek and mild face on and the dangerous face. And once again, Assam, he didn't care. He dropped that mask. He was by himself in a cell. 3 Irish with knives and a 4th one trying to hold him down. What did he do? When old Bill came back, he's just sitting there, chill as a cucumber, as if he was daring someone to mess with his dog. But Assam ain't got time to deal with a dog. He's surviving. He's got to deal with the fact that he's got to try to save a sister that doesn't want to be saved. He was forced into the tongs. He's a slave. Now, John Wick's lifestyle, he was raised into it. He had the choice to walk away. Assam doesn't have that choice. John Wick walked away for love, and I give him all the credit in the world because he stepped away from the only thing he knew for the love of his life, and he did that. And then he had to come back in. Why? Yeah. When Theon Greyjoy kills your dog, you gotta end that chump. But he chose. Assam doesn't have any choices. It's either go back to China with your tail between your legs to nothing, or stay here and fight. Not to mention the fact that the new love of his life is not only the wife of the mayor, but a white woman. There's only one other ethnicity that can't even think of looking at a white woman in that time and era. And we all know there's 3 of us on the panel. So, yeah. John Wick's also adept in weapons. Absolutely. So is Assam. Not to mention the fact that this is a much simpler era. So he has to get good with these things, best at what he has, and they don't have the modern medicine to be able to get stitched up in all of the modern pain meds. No, they got to go off what's on the land.
5 seconds.
Not to mention the fact, hey, he led a rebellion against the fake Marston gang. While smuggling gold.
All right, man. Whew. Good arguments.
Do I still have my 1 minute?
Yes.
I still got my other 2, or did I use my 2?
I kept rewinding so that you used it all.
Okay.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond to that, Greg.
Thank you.
You bet.
Love it.
Go for it.
Oh, I thought you could switch me over.
Yeah,
Don't
sorry. I'll
save
do
her.
that.
She don't want to be safe. Don't save her. These are the words of Juicy J from 3-6 Mafia. She don't want to be saved. Let her go. You can't save them all, player. You just keep it shaking. All right. She don't want to. Assam, I'm glad you brought that up. You kind of skirted around it, but basically you're saying Assam got his ass whooped. Okay. No matter, because he got cocky. That's not, hey, that's part of the fight. You got your ass whooped, player. That's what happened. All right. And you say that John Wick chose this. John Wick was an orphan. Let's talk about this. You know, I didn't want to bring this up, but John Wick. John Wick had no choice as a child to become what he became. He didn't have a choice in it. So I would like for us to be considerate of what this individual, this man had to be.
All right, you guys officially used all your time. That was adorable. Oh man. So, Demont, do you have some questions for Brian?
I do. The biggest difference, the biggest difference when comparing these fighters is the time periods that they're in, and so how would Assam be different? Because if they were going to have to fight, they were going to have to fight in the same time period. Which would be better for Assam, fighting in his time period or making the jump to coming to modern day?
This is going to seem like a very, very controversial take, but I'm going to stick with this, and I'm defaulting on 33 years of experience. Well, 35 years, sorry. It doesn't matter for Assam. And here's why. Assam is Shaolin Kung Fu trained. Martial arts originated in the Shaolin temples. So that means no matter what style you impart in, it is still an offshoot of these Chinese styles. So whatever John Wick brings to the table, it's going to look similar to Assam. It's almost like if you read a vampire novel. Oh man, this is totally different than the way they presented it in The Lost Boys, but I see they're still following the formula. Okay, that makes sense. So Assam is going to be able to pick up on John Wick's style, but the problem is, if you've never fought a Shaolin fighter, they're going to be bringing out stuff that you don't know. They'll recognize what you're doing, but you're not going to recognize all of what they're doing.
All right. And I kind of have a similar, just because of the time period and everything, and Wick's job versus Assam, who, I mean, essentially he's just a gang member. I mean, that's what the Tongs were. I mean, that being, I mean, not that Wick isn't his own sort of gang member. He's just in the Assassins Guild. But but my question is, Wick, for the most part, has to rely on weapons. Assam does use weapons, but he prefers just going hands up. So how do you think, comparatively, just looking at their fighting style, their hand-to-hand fighting styles, how do you think Wick's going to compare just going bare knuckles?
For me?
No, for Drake. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, hands are hands. Once again, he is trained in jiu-jitsu. He just didn't have to use his fighting skills hand to hand so much, but they are there. He's shown them. Once again, he preferred it because he's smart. He's smart. Why the hell I'm gonna use my hands and fuck up my knuckles and shit when I'm going to use a pen, pencil, sword, a gun, weapon, bat? He showed throughout his fighting skills that he would use his body to get around and maneuver and fuck shit up. And if I can just quickly stayed back. I love that response initially from Brian that say, it doesn't matter any place, anytime, but I would highly suggest, you want to again.
You
You
hang on.
compare
You,
Yeah, you froze. So
back up 10 seconds. You froze.
yeah,
I hate
back
that
up
I
a few
froze.
seconds.
I was spitting. Damn it. I love how you compare it to the Lost Boys. Love the Lost Boys. I'm a black horror humor. I'm a horror movie fanatic.
Same.
Think about Blade. That's all I gotta say. Technology and shit has advanced. We can find new ways to fuck you up. You go find you. I can say you can catch up, but the way with John Wick with his hand-to-hand fighting, I absolutely believe he will be able to take it. And he's taking some blows. And once again, back, he doesn't have the advance. He can't go to the hospital and things. He have to go and get surgery in the sewers and things of that nature. But he would hand in hand. He will have a little bit, but he will learn. He will focus. He will take his time. He's a patient fighter, and he'll learn how to go against Assam quickly. Once again, as you said, Dean, it's just a gang member, and which is John Wick has come from a affiliated, strong,
it's just a different class of gang.
Assassin's guild.
But what if I may rebut that point, because it is a great point, but it depends on the time period. If you're taking John Wick into the past, his guild has no presence here, so that we know of.
Exactly.
But here's the thing: if it's not, but the problem is though, is that his guild isn't going to offer him the same sort of protections. Not to mention the fact, let's just say we put John Wick into the time machine and take him back to Assam's time.
Yeah.
They're not going to be, like, John Wick's going to have no sort of real credibility. All the names that he could give are not going to be relevant. So that's going to work against him. Not to mention the fact that, and I'm sure we can all agree that while our technology has advanced, our predecessors are way more badass than we are. They're used to a different level of life, a different level of having to work. So you look at some of the stuff that Sahm had to go through in his time period. Not saying that John didn't go through some things. John absolutely went through some things. But
Sorry.
All right. I'm ready to say, though, that the level of training is just a little bit more intense in Assam's time period.
That's a good conversation in totality. I would say that, but I have to be wary. As it was, I think you said it, Brian. I think you said this earlier. This is 1870s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes.
1870s.
It's post Civil War.
Post Civil War, yeah.
Post Civil War. A white man going back in time and think he ain't gonna have connections in America. Okay.
Fair enough.
But I don't see, because both of these guys are honorable. I don't see John Wick, though, taking advantage of his privilege in that way. I think that John Wick is going to be so sickened at it that he's not going to be able to keep his temper. You look at the friendships that he has with Aurelio, for instance. And and with Halle Berry's character's name escapes me. But I don't see him taking advantage of his privilege in that way. I just don't. And besides, Keanu Reeves wouldn't do that to us.
He was the last samurai too, but we ain't gonna get into that.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen near the Highlander 2.
Or 3. Anybody out there got questions, feel free to post them, but I think let's start getting into closing arguments now. So Drake, you're gonna get 2 minutes for your closing arguments starting now.
Thank you. So once again, Assam, much credit to him, much credit to Brian, what he's doing. But against John Wick and the time zone that we're actually at, we just take these two individuals, give them their weapons of choice, or give them barehanded. John Wick is going to whip his ass, okay? Because we've seen Assam get his ass whipped already. We've seen this one-on-one, not a bunch of different people, one-on-one and got fucked up. We haven't seen this with John. Oh my gosh, we haven't seen this with Mr. Wick. One-on-one, we haven't seen this with Mr. Wick to the level. I'm talking about not a plan, scrap and go heads up and lose. Now he may fault 40 other motherfuckers and lose, or not even lose, but just get fucked up. But and get shot while doing this. Once again, because he's not just doing the shooting, he's getting shot at. And if I'd pull the numbers quickly just to let everyone know what John Wick is working with. John Wick had 91 kills in the first John Wick. He had 140, about 119 in the second one, and 146 bodies in the third one.
But one of those in the second one was Ruby Rose, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, that really shouldn't count.
Hey, look, he's even fighting in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Like, all I'm saying, he is ready to scrap. All matter. He's yet to fully lose. He just keep getting back up, and he's just doing it. Because once again, all started because they killed his puppy. Once again, all because of the puppy. And
yeah,
I digress.
Can't deny. All right. So, Brian, if you would like to start your closing statement, go ahead.
All right. So the first thing I will say, when you mentioned, yes, John Wick was an orphan, but he did choose to walk away from the life. Choice made. 2, John Wick didn't get his ass whooped. Yo, Kirill, a.k.a. played by Daniel Bernhardt, whooped that ass. Daniel Bernhardt put it on him. Put it on. He wore John Wick like a suit. Not to mention the fact, also, the bottom line is John Wick throws himself into the situations. Yeah, he's getting shot, blah, blah, blah. He has to get drugged up to keep going. If he didn't have the drugs in his system, I'm sorry. My girl, and her name escapes me right now, but she's the commander on the Orville. She had it. She was whooping on him if he didn't have the drugs in his system to keep him going. He had to get drugged up to keep going. And I'll tell you what, Sahm, look, he's going up against cats that are coming at him with hatchets. Nothing to lose. All broke as hell, fighting for honor. When a man is fighting for the honor, at least out of the East Asian heritage, you don't mess with it. Those that you might as well have a bounty on your head when they coming at you. And the thing is, John Wick did have a bounty on his head. Absolutely. But you know what? At the end of the day, modern chemistry helped him go a very long way. Not taken away from it, but he had the use of modern chemistry. Sahm, he was just making his way. And yeah, you got to let them go if they don't want to be saved. But when that's your blood kin, you fight for them. You keep fighting for them. And that's what he did. He actually risked his life to stop the baddest dude in his town from killing his sister.
All right. That's all the time for the dispute. What do you think there, Demond?
This was a good one.
I knew. I was looking forward to this one.
This was way better than when I looked at it on paper. I thought this was going to, I think I mentioned this earlier, that this was going to be more lopsided just because John Wick's presence is huge. And man, it's a lot closer, and I'm really curious to see what the adjudicators out there think. We've had everything from, chemicals to quoting the great philosopher Juicy J. We've had it all night.
And I'll tell you the truth. I totally recognize the fact that John Wick has a much further reach than Sahm does, because let's be real. Cinemax was dying. Yeah. Absolutely dying. And more people had HBO than they had Cinemax. So moving over to HBO Max, which was also very, very quietly done, but done. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, it's really, 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 really difficult to even remotely try to match Keanu Reeves. Like, it's next to impossible.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what.
Andrew Koji does a hell of a job as
Yeah.
Assam. I
He
will
really
definitely say that.
does.
And
He really and truly does.
he invokes Bruce Lee in
Oh, yeah.
subtle ways, and just like the way he carries him. I mean, I know he was
The movements, just the little movements.
I will
Yeah, I
say
read-
that for Joe Taslim as well,
Sure.
who plays I can't remember his character, but the boyfriend of his sister that he fought against.
Oh yeah, aka Bihan from Mortal Kombat.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
he's amazing. He is amazing.
I want to say my point. Well, I'm not gonna make my point because people can still can listen and they haven't voted yet. So like, because hey, I agree. It's a lot of points, and Damon was touching on it. I was like, shut up, Damon.
Yeah, I mean, I knew going into. I mean, I knew just because I've seen both of them, and I love both of them. That I mean, but yeah, don't sleep on Assam because
Yeah,
that I mean, and I will.
It's hard to advocate against John Wick. It's really hard.
both of them are great.
Yeah.
I mean,
These are great characters.
I have to thank COVID for me seeing it because it was, everybody's binging everything. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I see it's based off of Bruce Lee's treatment. I'm like, oh, I gotta fucking watch this now.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to share, but with me, I own all the Wick trilogy. I watch John Wick anytime. Love it.
I've always got time for John Wick.
But when I started doing, I said, okay, this is what I'm going against. The Warrior. Let me check that. And I started doing my research. Oh, based on Mr. Lee. Okay,
Right.
on Brucey. I'm like, yeah, I may lose this one. No.
Eyebrows start raising.
I know if you haven't seen it, I mean, it's definitely it's a fucking amazing show. Great story. I mean, it's not just a kung fu show. It is a great story.
And
HBO Max, you can sponsor us since we're every show.
Let them know.
Yeah. And the one thing that I truly appreciate about this is that now, granted, the racism, it irks me. I'm sure that if I were Asian, it would irk me even more.
Yeah.
But this is a lot easier for me to watch than another film in another series in a similar time period, which was Outlander. That's hard to watch. It is extremely hard to watch.
I tried watching it.
I was able to get to where they get to the colonial Americas, and I had to stop. I had to. So, but the fact that it really touches on a lot of things that we saw, especially with how the culture of Chinatown that we know of it in pop culture, even making use and thought of Big Trouble in Little China, how it sort of began in this period.
Now I gotta go watch it. I'm everything culture, so I gotta check it out now.
It's time well invested.
It truly is.
Well
it truly is.
And so also before we get too far, and now because the dispute is over, we need folks to go vote. And we need you to vote a lot. Get everybody to vote. It's disputedpod.com/SAHMVWICK. Sahm v. Wick. So if you go out there, do your vote. If you have any issues voting, ping me, because it should tell you how many people have voted. So once you've clicked it and you refresh it, it should show that the counter has gone up by 1. If you see that has not happened, let me know. I know we've had some issues. And I think I've got them all cleared up now because I'm also doing one over on How Are You Now Pod for Shorzy. And oh my God, I have I think for the best episode one on that one, the poll that I've got over 300 votes on that already. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just watching everything tick up and looking at the best episode and which clips everybody liked. So yeah, I think I've got everything ironed out with the way that the voting system works here. So
excellent. Get out there and vote, and then tell your friends to go vote. Watch this.
Yeah.
Figure this is a great debate. Even if you don't know either character, this is a perfect debate to get introduced to both characters, and so you can actually make an informed decision. So not knowing the characters is not an excuse.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and and I get it. John Wick has been with us since 2014.
He's got name recognition.
Yeah, he's got the name recognition. I get it, but at least give yourself half a season of Warrior.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Yeah, I say check out Warrior, but make sure to watch John Wick too to make sure you know
Yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
definitely.
what Wick
Absolutely.
going
So,
through.
so Drake, you got anything you'd like to plug before we get to signing out here?
Absolutely. Y'all can find us at Everything Culture. That's an A, not an I. You type in everything, you'll find something different. But we're Everything Culture, the podcast for all cultures, the podcast with a purpose. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, go to our website at everythingculture.com. You can find us anywhere you type in our name on all social media sites almost. I mean, you name one, we're probably there. We're going into our child welfare series very soon, but we still have many makings of you that's coming up where we do one-on-one conversations with our different guests to get to know their backgrounds, childhood, upbringing, thought process, perspectives on life. And yeah, we've had some good episodes talking about Juneteenth.
Hmm.
Once again, being a person celebrating since birth, and it's part of my heritage and life. And we've been rolling. But also, you can check us out check me or find me on Black Horror Humor. Three African American or Black horror movie enthusiasts. We all have our separate podcasts, but we get together, watch horror movies, and we give our feelings and review about it. And yeah, great stuff. But y'all can find me there.
I'll have to get Tiara hooked up with you on that because she
Yeah,
loves
same here.
horror.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
horror as well.
oh
So
yeah.
I definitely got to get with you on
Man,
that.
we're looking forward to talk about Halloween, the most recent Halloween.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, that is. But we'll digress.
All right, Brian, you got anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, sure. You can check me out at the Plotaholics podcast, plotaholics.com, or wherever you get your podcasts, where I'm partnered with my partner in crime, Shane Wilson. We are currently in the midst of our Summer of Song block. We've done A Star is Born, Walk Hard,
I love Walk Hard.
8 Mile, Once. You know, it's all films with musical premise. This coming episode, we just finished our 8 Mile episode. That's available now wherever you get your podcast. Go to plotaholics.com or on youtube.com/plotaholics. This coming week, we are going to be recording our episode where we are going to discuss the Mark Wahlberg film Rockstar. And that's just, like I said, Summer of Song. Also, our listeners' choice Halloween is going to be coming up, where you, the listeners, will get to decide what films we are going to be covering during the Halloween season. If you follow us on Facebook as well, we'll have the voting up there. That'll be shared all over my social media. A lot of great things happening with the Plotaholics podcast. You can also find me. I'm also a DDP yoga instructor. I am the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Challenge Grand Champion. I have also opened my own self-defense studio and
Nice.
yoga studio. It's called Infinity Academy, powered by DDP Yoga, where we have a good time getting healthy and taking control of our lives.
Right on.
So yeah, you can find me at get information there at briantan.com or look up Infinity Academy on Facebook.
Excellent. Devon, anything else you want to plug real quick before we get into our final plugs and then sign out?
Now new episode of Demond Does wherever you get podcasts. In the Stack the Library podcast. One episode a month. We're starting to we did Pride Month last month. That was a really good one. We got some really good stuff coming up for the library here, and it's not just local. Oh, I mean, it is local, but it can be applied to a general audience, so that's really cool. And yeah, and then stay tuned for some other projects in the works.
Nice. And you can also find Devon, Brian, and I on the 11th doing a live stream of a brand new, never before heard or seen script for Letterkenny,
It's
written
so
by
good.
the brilliant David Mack. We will be performing that live on How Are You Now Pod live stream. And I'll be putting that out, the links for that out soon. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
So hilarious.
It's a
With
lot. It's so much fun.
If the rehearsal is any indication, it is going to be an absolute blast. You cannot miss this. This
Yeah.
is one of those things where it's one of those fusions of community that I love about the podcasting space.
Yeah.
It's a combination of everything that I love about it. It's awesome. It's going to be so much fun.
That's
Oh
brilliant.
yeah, and that's
Yeah, and then on the 14th, we will be doing a crossover with How Are You Now, but between How Are You Now Pod and the Produce Stand. So the biggest Canadian and the biggest American Letterkenny podcast will be doing the recap of Shoresy on Thursday night, the 14th, and we'll be doing kind of both of our things at the same time, getting some of the people that we've had on during the season, chatting about what they thought about the whole thing and kind of get into some of our things there. And it's going to be a blast. So those are the things that I got coming up. Demond, what's coming up next for us?
Oh my goodness. On July 21st, it is number 1 versus number 16. It's Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai versus the number 1 seed, Wayne from Letterkenny.
Yeah, that's gonna be I know Johnny Lawrence has some name recognition there, but we've got a lot of Letterkenny fans.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the number 1 seed is probably he might just take it a little bit further. He might.
Yeah, we'll see.
Possible.
I mean, I'd like to see it. I like to see a good competition. I think tonight's competition was amazing. So
And the winner of next week gets Kato. So it's not like let's say Wayne wins. It's not like he's going to go have a cakewalk because he is going against arguably the GOAT.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. So this tournament's it's only starting to tune up, man. This is going to be good.
yeah, these last couple of bouts. Oh man, whoo!
So good. So good.
I'm getting the tinglies. All right. So, folks, if you guys want to hang out a little bit, but yeah, and so we're going to go ahead and sign out now. So, until next time,
I'm Damon.
I'm Dean, and remember,
Everything is disputed.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We are now asking you to go vote for your champion. We want to thank our advocates for their amazing defense of their champions. And finally, we'd like to thank the musical artists who created the music that helps make our show so great. We've got Hard Fight by Tajirigis, Game Changer by Icolix, Fight Club by Evil Bear Boris, Fight Makes Right by Atake, and This Party Sucks by Done With Fish. They can be found on freemusicarchive.org or on artlist.io. See you next time.